Hello, I'm Joseph Dillard. This is the 8th and final video in this series on filling out the online integral deep listening interviewing protocol. Now is the time when the subject of the interview, whether yourself or someone you interview, gets to add their comments and interpretations. While traditional dream interpretation looks for interpretations from experts, peers, or dream symbology dictionaries, IDL first accesses the interpretations of interviewed perspectives. When the answers provided by your interviewed dream character are gathered by way of the interviewing process, it is then time to hear from the subject. What did they hear? What recommendations do they want to put to the test? How do their initial associations to the dream match up with what the character had to say? If they were not able to anticipate the answers of the interviewed character, why not? What does that imply? If those answers included recommendations that are pertinent and helpful, what does that say about the credibility of the interviewed character? What does that say about the credibility of the IDL interviewing process? If, when those recommendations are followed, this or that life issue reduces in severity, and this happens over multiple interviews, what are we to conclude? If this interview were a message from your life compass, what would that be? That's the next question that we ask ourselves. The answer, take care of your health. Continue with your present work priorities. Do interviews more consistently. You can state what, if anything, surprised you about the interview. The question is, what surprised me about the interview was, and the answer is, that rope is still alive and relevant in my life. You might also think about how what you heard differs from your initial associations to the dream. If there are differences, why? What does that say about the methodology? If you knew what you heard all along, why didn't you write it in your associations at the beginning? This is what it means to say that your associations act as something of a pretest for the process. If you have new, helpful information as a result of interviewing your dream character, doesn't that indicate that the process itself is relevant and helpful? If I had been interviewed by someone else, this is when and where they would chime in with their feedback, interpretations, and recommendations. It is only after the subject has given their feedback that others present, coaches, helping professionals, friends, are invited to chime in with their comments and interpretations. I cannot tell you of the number of times that I have been surprised, even amazed, at how interview subjects have summarized what they heard and got out of the experience in ways that I had not expected. This is very important information because it not only reminds us how limited our own interpretations often are, but tells us what the interviewed subject finds important and how they are integrating what they have heard. Comments by others can be listed if you click on the green Ask a Follow-Up Question button. Such comments by others are best stated in terms of how the interview was valuable to them in their life, how they relate it to their own lives, what sense it has for them in dealing with their own life issues. In the Go-To menu, at the top of every page of the questionnaire, you'll find in the list of choices a summary option. When you click on it, you will see this window. After the summary information and before the listing of question windows in blue, you will see in green, link to share this report with a trusted other. Below that, you will see that it also will convert all of your work into a PDF for your records or to email to the subject you interviewed. This is an amazing resource and record of your work. And you will find that every time that you go back and read over your interview, you'll be surprised at how relevant and helpful it remains even after many years. Thank you for working through this series of videos on interviewing dream characters using the online interviewing protocol. It will be worth your time to take a look at the videos on interviewing life issues, as there are important differences from dream interviews in how you determine who or what to interview and how to generate a personification of the life issue you choose. Thanks, and see you next time.